I think it'll be a boost economically for the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I don't know whether at first the people in Dallas will support them the way they should be supported, but all in all, I think it'll be very good for them.
Well, the Houston's had a club for 10 years. Of course, they've had the Astrodome to attract them.
This is going to make the judge get on his feet, too.
Think they'll make it at least a year or two without good players?
No. You know the old story. The Cowboys attract them when they win, and when they don't, they lose. Attendance falls off. Get to be the same way as baseball.
I think it's excellent. I think any time that you have sports in any area, it helps all sports. And I think I'm delighted for the people who have worked so hard to bring it to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, because it's a great reward for them.
I heard it last night on the news.
On Channel 8.
Yes, sir.
You like Vern Lundquist then?
Yes, I like you too.
Thank you. Well, what do you think about the move?
I think it's terrific. I really do. It's going to bring more people to Dallas and keep young people here.
We see a lot of demonstrations by so-called long-hairs these days, enough of them, in fact, that a lot of times we don't pay much attention. However, in this case, they're not the only ones who are aware of a problem. Their demonstration concerns a problem in the county jail last night. The problem there amounted to about 150 inmates setting fire to some mattresses, breaking some windows, tying the doors into individual cells so they could not be closed, and other things in the jail, which brought attention to the fact that these inmates were upset about conditions there. Sheriff Clarence Jones, city police and dogs, firemen, and others responded. And Sheriff Jones said that if they would bring an end to the disturbance, he would be glad to meet with the inmates about their problems. They met late into the night. They met again this morning. Sheriff Jones said that the inmates listed 6 or 7 grievances. He would only discuss 2 of them specifically.
Generally speaking, in 2 areas, I think they probably do have a valid complaint. There is those 2 areas specifically are due to the large number of people that we have, it's virtually impossible to get all of the medical attention that they need. I think this can be corrected to a measure. The other is in the area of not so much with the food, but the fact that the food is not, it's kind of hard to eat depending on what you serve when it is cold, and I think this is understandable. And I think that we'll be able to work out something in that area.
Sheriff Jones repeated several times that he is running the jail, and he will continue to run the jail. But he said that he is going to meet with the inmates about their grievances and hopes to be able to work things out with them. The sheriff also said that he was proud of the work done by the officers last night and that no one was injured in the incident that occurred in the jail. In talking with defense attorneys and others who have dealt regularly with inmates of the Dallas County Jail, it seems like there can be some improvements made, but the real improvements are not going to be made until some other facilities are provided to alleviate the gross overcrowding of the Dallas County Jail. This is Roger McDonald reporting from the Dallas County Courthouse.
Cost of goods and services in Dallas rose 2.0% between May and August. That brought the Dallas Consumer Price Index to 122.8. It's the largest movement that we've had in several months, in over a year. It's the first quarterly report in Dallas where the Dallas All Items Index has exceeded the movement nationally in over a year. The important thing I think to remember about it and taking it into account is most of that movement did occur prior to the presidential price freeze order on August 15th.
When you mentioned the increase specifically in the fresh produce, which is not covered by the freeze, is there any indication that grocers are jacking up the prices of these items to cover deficiencies in other parts of the store?
We don't see that. We wouldn't see it anyway. As I told you, all this food price collection occurred prior to the freeze. We have no collection at all in this index that occurred after the freeze order.
I think we all felt an extra pressure this year as concerned good representation for the ladies, for minority groups, for the geographical distribution of the overall boards, and we're getting a recheck on that now before we make our final decisions.
George, there's been a lot of pressure on you from the black community, and you, of course, in turn have put a lot of pressure on the council to appoint black members to the boards and commissions. How do you feel now that the matter has been more or less thrashed out in this meeting?
Well, I feel real good about it. We have black representation on every board and every commission. I feel real good about it.
Well, the budget cut, it will hurt us because we had planned for $300,000 to take care of the bare needs that we had, and the city manager, after reviewing it, cut $200. Then we have now $138,000, which had been cut. What we will have to do with the additional expenses that we have, the Como Center of about $46,000, we have been added other responsibilities of the new city hall and the new city park. We will ask our department heads to go back into their respective areas and try to cut those non-essential items, and certainly some of the essential items will be hurt in the recreational facilities and the other departments. So we have appointed a committee this morning of 3 of our board members to go into it in depth and study everything that they possibly can and cut where they can and try to keep from minimizing the services that we want to offer to the public in the recreational and park facilities. Certainly, anytime you cut a budget, and with the continuous growth that we've had, is hard.
His attitude, Duane's attitude with me has always been good. I mean, we have talked. I've talked to him yesterday, and our conversation was not much different than last year's conversations. And our job right now is to make Duane a football player that he's capable of playing. That's our major objectives. There may be problems that I don't have any control over. We're not concerned with that. Our job is to bring Duane back and let him play the way he's capable of.
candy.
A what?
Candy. You're going to get your candy?
Oh, but you
Okay.
have all that. This is sweet.
$1.
Oh, I see with her quarters what she's going
Can
to
I
do.
go get my bicycle?
You going to ride his bike?
It's getting a last gasp at a vanishing sport, and a bad example of the sport in and of itself.
You sound like you're a bitter loser.
No, I'm not a baseball fan. I don't think it's an interesting game, and if Dallas wants it, more power to them.
Dallas, I'm going to ask you about the ball club.
Yeah.
You, Frank?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
You baseball fan?
No, I'm not.
What do you think of Arlington, Texas getting our ball club?
It's completely indifferent to me.
How about to them?
Probably might benefit them.
You don't care though?
No, it wouldn't make any difference to me whatsoever.
Okay. What is Dallas, Texas getting?
No idea whatsoever.
I mean, they're getting our ball club. Is it good riddance as far as you're concerned, or what advice would you give somebody down in Dallas about our ball club that is now theirs?
Okay, just keep on, cheering them and attending, all their games and just great spirits.
You're not bitter about seeing the ball club go here or down to there?
No, I'm pretty much on the contrary. I'm glad they're moving around.
What do you think of the people in Arlington, Texas are getting?
I never heard of the people in Arlington, Texas. I understand that they're getting what we had. I don't know whether that's good or bad. I think it's bad for us.
Our communications department did a good job in preparing a presentation. We feel like as a result of this presentation, we probably have received approximately 400 or more majority to minority transfers. I might add that they are still coming in, and we think it is still the result of this presentation because the presentation was made through last week.
Well, of course, we're getting some of the money now from the Department of Transportation to purchase and replace buses. Right now, the specific planning of the Highway Department and the Airport Board is to rely almost entirely on the highways to get the cars there and get the people to the airport. But they are involved now in the construction of their people mover system, and in the study with Council of Governments, they're trying to decide how to correlate their people mover system on the airport with whatever mass transit facilities we get from Dallas, Fort Worth, and the Mid-Cities area.
Thank you.
I have tried to understand how it is to be a 63-year-old woman who can't work, or she can't find a job very easily, and hoping that maybe she could work till age 65.
Well, the Board of Trustees of the Employees Retirement Fund has recommended to the City Council that they adopt an ordinance that has been prepared, which would make the retirement age 68 for all employees.
I've heard it said that all's fair in love and war, and I guess if this is one war, the fair sex won, at least except for one skirmish. It used to be a lady could retire at age 57 if she wanted to. Now, under the new proposal, which goes to the City Council on Monday, everybody can retire at 65 and must retire at 68. But then I guess that's what equality is all about. Jerry Taft, Channel 8 News on the Move, Fort Worth.
Well, I would think that he would probably work both at fullback and halfback. As you know, he started out last year with us at fullback, and when Calvin was hurt, he moved over to halfback. He's very versatile. He can play either fullback or halfback position, and while he's getting back into conditioning and getting acclimated again, I think he'll work probably at both positions.
What was the reasoning on the signing of linebacker Lee Roy Caffey, Coach?
Well, the thing that we felt that we needed was another linebacker. We have actually only 5 linebackers. We have none on our future list at this point. And after the Kansas City game, where Stensick was out, and then Jordan had the bruised ribs and he couldn't play after the first quarter, we were in real trouble all of a sudden. And we can't risk that because you got to be strong in every position. And we think Caffey gives us this.
You made room for him. You made room for him by moving Forrest Gregg to the taxi squad.
Yes, we moved Forrest Gregg off our active list, which when Forrest came to us, we told him that we might move him off the active list. If we had a lineman hurt, he would be the first replacement for a lineman. So we're taking a chance for a couple of weeks that we won't get any of our first line hurt, and if we don't, then he'll be available after 2 weeks to come back on our active list at any time.